On the beat. Here we go. Excellent. Hello everyone and welcome back to AmmoMart. A few weeks ago, we started a video series with Kayla McNally getting into not only handguns, but progressing to be an everyday carry person. Through those series of videos, she decided that we were going to purchase a Smith & Wesson Equalizer, which she has, of course. And now, Kayla, I guess the question is, in those short period of time, how much time and contact have you had with the gun, if at all, and how much you've been practicing?
Well, to start off, mostly what I did was I read the manual, and then I went ahead and registered my firearm just in case there's any warranty issues.
Stop you right there. Always a good idea. Read the manual, get it registered. Perfect. Go ahead.
I did practice loading and unloading my mags just to make sure I was good with that. I have 3 different magazines, and it was a little bit tough. I did have to use the mag loader every once in a while, especially when I had more rounds in the magazines.
Common.
I did also practice disassembling and assembling my firearm to make sure I could clean it when needed.
Good. So always a good thing.
Something else.
Right.
And I've actually only shot a couple times, not very much, only a few rounds here and there.
Perfect. So a little bit before we go any further, when we're away from making the selection of the handgun, which we are, kind of what we need to find out is whether or not this is going to be your thing. And what I mean by your thing is that carrying the gun in public's an awesome responsibility, and it's not a skill set that you just get to have. So it takes commitment, practice, to get to a level of proficiency where you can actually become a protector of you and yours. Okay. So because of that, the way we're going to structure practice is not based around fun at all.
Okay.
It's usually based around a little bit of a stress factor, because you get used to dealing with it. You'll just do better, Lord forbid, when that day comes. Okay. So yeah, it is recreational, but it's also more of a training session where you are basically trying to figure out life, safety, and survival skills. Make sense?
The way that I view this, it's not just a hobby or an expensive hobby. It's pretty much a lifestyle change.
Perfect. It is, because to your point, one of the common mistakes are people go to the range once a week, and that maybe is all the contact that they have with the gun. So every time they come back, it's like starting all over. So for a little bit, a few weeks, we're going to have contact with the gun a lot, shoot the gun a lot, and certainly dry fire the gun every day. Even if it's 15 minutes, we have to have hands-on gun, manipulating the controls and making good, efficient trigger presses, okay? If we don't have that, then we're in the wrong business.
Okay. And that is another thing that I did do as well. I researched a little bit, watched some videos in regards to dry fire. I don't have a lot of experience with that, but I wanted to get used to the trigger pull.
Yeah. So. Let's say press.
Press?
Yep.
Sorry, press.
It'll get your mind in an efficient form. Okay. Yep. It's a hard habit to break, but let's say press, because pull means yank, and that's not good.
Right.
So to that end, you're going to need an efficient trigger press for what's coming. Okay. We're going to do a drill called the Dirty 30. I picked it up also off of YouTube. Larry Allen Vickers shoots this drill on his channel. It's challenging, but simple. You're going to shoot 10 rounds at 3 different distances, 5, 10, and 15 yards. And when we get our camera on the target, what we would like for you to do, if possible, it's an untimed drill, is to stay in the X-ring. Failing that, because you're new and potentially you haven't worked at longer distances before, we would like to stay in the 10 ring. Okay? Now, if that doesn't happen, that's okay. What we're trying to do is just establish where you're at, skill set wise.
Right.
And in case the viewers can't tell, it's windy.
Very.
And environmental factors are huge factors. Okay? So you got to deal with the wind, so you need to take your time.
Okay.
But you can, in fact, take too much time. Fatigue is also a real thing. So part of the drill is trying to manage your speed limit related to your accuracy. Okay? So when you feel comfortable, break the shot. Don't wait for perfect, because perfect's hard to find on a day like today.
Okay.
The benefit of training on a day like today is you never know when you're going to need your gun on a windy day. And at least now you'll know what the pitfalls are. The overall purpose or point of the drill is you can shoot well up close, maybe 4 of 5 rounds. You get away with stuff. This drill illustrates actually how consistent you are with your trigger finger and the sight alignment. As you go out, the sights will have to be aligned more correctly, and the press will have to come efficiently and in time with that alignment. So it's not all accuracy, it's also consistency over 30 rounds. Very difficult, okay? We'll look at it like this. Even a blind man might be able to hit the X-ring occasionally, but he can't do it all the time. So this is going to kind of verify how consistent you are as well as accurate.
Is this something that's difficult to pass?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not easy at all, especially with iron sights. In fact, if you watch people do it on video, they get very frustrated. Okay, so why are you doing it new? Because we're going to use it as a baseline as we go forward to see how well you're doing over a period of time.
Makes sense. Yep.
It's tough drill.
Okay.
All right, but you'll be okay. So we've already got some magazines loaded with 10. We're just obviously going to shoot 10 at this distance, and I'll stay out of your way, take all the time you need, and before we move on, we'll take a look at how we're doing.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Sounds good.
We'll gear up and off we go, okay? Okay, Kayla, you have 10 in the magazine. Go ahead and you can commence fire when you're ready. Make sure your finger's off when you insert the magazine. Perfect. Yep. Good. Eyes and ears, range is hot. Take your time. Stay on the X. Good. Nice shot there. Good. Good. Excellent.
Okay.
So, despite the fact I have a lot of vision issues, that's perfect. The line breakers count. The line breakers go to the shooter, so anything on the line is still a good shot.
Okay.
That was 10. You'll notice, either because of sight alignment, grip, or trigger press, your trend is to be a little to the left. Very common with a right-handed shooter.
Okay.
Now, when we go out, that might in fact be enough to take you out of the range. Okay?
Right.
So you notice that could be very consistent off to the left side of the target is what it is. Okay? But excellent, excellent job. Okay?
Great.
So you hang here, take a couple steps back of the firing line for me, and I'll reset for the next distance, okay?
Okay.
So consistency, simply doing the same thing over and over and over and over, right? So if we can hit the X once, we in theory should be able to do it all the time. The variable is you.
Right.
Okay? Make sense?
Yes.
So just line them up, sights, press, press. Let's see what we get, okay?
Okay.
You have another 10 in your separate magazine there?
I do.
Go ahead whenever you're ready. Good. Very important to communicate with the trigger at this distance, okay?
Okay.
Find that wall, smooth, even press. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Make sure the gun's clear for me. Remove the magazine. Work the slide, finger off trigger.
Oh, there's one more.
Got one more, okay.
Yep.
Lay the gun down for
Okay.
me. Put the round in the magazine.
I miscounted.
That's okay. Happens. Finger off. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now, a little bit of coaching, okay?
Yes.
Take your time with this one.
Okay.
You were in a groove. We interrupted your OODA loop, so to speak, okay?
Yeah.
So we have to go back to the mindset of I need all 10 of these to go in the X, okay?
Okay.
Off you go. Good. Slide lock, weapons
Yes.
down. Let's go down range and take a look, okay?
Okay.
So our left trend continued a bit.
Yeah.
You notice here, this is slightly lower than the one here. This could be a slight trigger mash, maybe.
Okay.
Your reaction to it when you saw the hole was to kind of bob your head like I didn't make you very happy.
Correct.
Okay, that's a good thing because you kind of know wrong. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
It also could not potentially be a trigger mash. It could be not supporting the left side of the gun enough.
Okay. That
could also create a little bit of this, but it's hard to tell. Could be a lot of things. But in my humble opinion, 80% at 10 yards for a new shooter is absolutely fantastic.
I did notice that after about 4 or 5 rounds that my grip was loosening a little bit on my support hand.
Yep.
So that's something I'm going to have to work on.
It is. Once you have it, don't let it go and say to yourself 20% harder.
Okay.
Because you can get away with it once, but as you notice over the string of fire, everything just gets slop.
Okay.
Okay? Excellent job, though. I'm going to reset, and we'll continue. Okay. So, Kayla, as Ken Hackathorn's always saying, 10 yards in the real world's a long shot, because it is with a pistol, especially no dot, all that.
Right.
Then that means that 15 yards is even farther, and consequently, harder shot. So, when you do this, what you have to pay very close attention to is sight alignment, sight picture, and then that smooth trigger press. So all of those things intersect at the same time. If they don't, you're going to get a negative result. Now, your sights will likely obscure the target at this distance because the target's getting smaller and the sights are the same size. So one technique you might use is a 6 o'clock hold on the X-ring. So picture you have basically 2 circles on the X-ring. If you can take the inner one and put the sights at the bottom for 6 o'clock, it can help you, one, see your sights in relation to the target instead of covering them up completely.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I think so.
So picture, this is your target here, this is your bullseye.
Yes.
Your sights will be here.
Okay.
Instead of up here covering it up.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Kayla, for 10, I'll get out of your way. Just do your best.
Okay.
Okay? If the target's far enough away, Kayla, you can't see your misses till you get down there.
That's true.
One of the few benefits of going this far. Good. Weapon down for me. You can leave the magazine in it. Oh, that's all right. Perfect. Let's go see how things went. So we had 2 out to the edge of the 9 before, okay? And then we get this, and a couple more.
Right.
So, not terribly bad, and I could be wrong, but at distance, one of the things that new shooters do, you see this now, it's become a circular shot pattern.
Yeah.
Is your eye hyper focuses on the target, desperately trying to see it instead of watching this sight.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of this.
Yep.
You're close. Obviously, this is excellent at that distance for a novice shooter. But something to keep in mind is if we work this distance again, focusing on the front sight in relation to the rear is critical.
Okay.
It's counterintuitive to not watch the target, and it's harder and harder to do the farther away it gets because you're desperately trying to see it.
Right.
Okay? And you get this wandery circle kind of thing.
Yep.
Excellent job.
Okay.
Let's go do some more. So, Kayla, the second drill we're going to do is called the Spitale Drill, and it's 4 strings of fire, 10 total rounds for the entire drill. Okay?
Okay.
So this also comes from Ken Hackathorn, and one of the reasons I like it is he got it off of a buddy of his. I think he was in law enforcement. But with the growing popularity of multiple assailants, transitioning between targets is a skill set that you must have. Okay? So the rules of this thing are somewhat complicated, but on the other hand, not really. Your time is your score.
Okay.
So even though we're going to time the drill, there's not a par time or a fail time. We're just going to add it all up and see how many seconds that it took. However, any time that you're out of what would be considered the A zone or the head zone, it adds some seconds to your time.
Okay.
So your time, in effect, is your score.
What's the A zone?
So the A zone would be like an IDPA target, something, you know, roughly 4x5, 4x6, okay? For you today, because you're new, I'm going to expand the zone for you a little bit. And anything in the 9 will work in the torso, and anything in the head, as long as it's not on the ear or something, reasonable headshot will count. Make sense?
Yes.
So, first string of fire, you're going to come up from the low ready position, which is gun roughly at the bottom of the target zone. Okay. This is not low ready. If you take a lot of classes, people cheat and try to get on the target quicker. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we're going to be at the ground. When you hear the beep, you're going to come up, put 2 rounds in the torso and 1 in the head of the 7-yard target.
Okay.
Your close target is at 7, the farther one is at 10.
Okay.
Make sense? That's string number 1.
Got it.
And so we don't get confused, I'll tell you what string number 2 is before we shoot it.
I appreciate that.
No worries. So all you have to do, 2 to the torso and 1 to the head on the beep.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
Makes sense? Mm-hmm. Let me grab my shot timer. Got hearing and eyes on. Range is hot. Good. Finger off.
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead. Good. Now find your full firm firing grip. Good. Nice and ready. Good. That's perfect low ready position. Okay?
Okay.
Quick reminder on the beep, you're going to come up for 2 in the torso and finish with 1 in the head. Okay?
Okay.
Shooter ready?
Ready.
On the beep. Excellent. Okay, go ahead and lay the gun down for me. That's 4.1 seconds.
Okay.
Not 4 minutes, it was much faster. So it looks like our left trend is continuing, not only in the torso, but in the head. Okay? Something to be mindful of as we progress. Okay? So that's 4.1.
Okay.
In the second string of fire, you're going to start on the 7-yard target. On the beep, you'll come up, put 1 round in the head zone, transition to the far target for 1 in the torso, and then you will come back to the 7-yard target for 1 in the head. Okay. So we have head, torso, head.
Okay.
Clear?
Got it.
Awesome. Go ahead and carefully pick the gun up for me. Finger off. Good. Find your grip, find your stance. Love it. Okay? Get rooted in there. Shooter ready?
Ready.
Remember, head, torso, head, okay?
Okay.
On the beat. Good. That was completed in 5.1 seconds, okay?
Okay.
So, pretty good, all right? So now, on the beat, Kayla, for number 3, string of fire number 3, you're simply going to come up and put 3 shots in the torso of the far target.
Of the far target?
3 in the torso, far target, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Go ahead and pick her up when you're ready, finger off. Good. Find your stance, grip. Good. It's kind of stressful with a shot timer, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
You're pressing, right? You just kind of know you're being timed?
Yes.
Even though we're just adding up the time? Okay, you ready?
Ready.
On the beat, 3 in the torso. Good. Okay? 4.42. Now, for your 10th and final round, drill simply concludes with the short target on the beep, come up and put 1 in the head.
Okay.
At the 7-yard line. Okay? Whenever
that's
you're
the
ready.
closest one?
One shot to the head zone of 7.
Okay.
Okay. You all set?
Ready?
Okay. On the beat. Good. Slide lock. Let's go see how it went, okay?
Okay.
That was in 1.39. Pretty good.
Oh, great.
So, Kayla, how we keep score is how we keep score. As long as we do it consistently every time you train, it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, in my humble estimation, this is a miss, right? And this would be a miss.
Mm-hmm.
So this would actually add, let's say if you miss a headshot, it will add 2 seconds per miss. So instead of 4.1, this is actually 8.1.
Oh
Okay?
boy. Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Because your score is your time.
Right.
So not right now, we're at 8.1. Yeah, so your overall time was 15.03. Okay? So right now, 2 penalties, we're at 17.03.
Okay.
Make sense? Now, if we move down to the 10, look at you. No penalties here, because we said we would take this. Okay?
Right.
17.03.
Okay.
Now for the bad news. The drill is designed to be done from concealment with a holster,
Okay.
which you don't have.
Right.
So we're just kind of seeing how things are going. With a holster from concealment, 16 is a passing score. Okay?
Okay.
Somewhere around, as these are Ken Hackathorn's numbers, not mine. 12 or 14 is an excellent score. And anything around 11, 10, believe it or not, some people do it in sub 10, 9, high, whatever, would be absolutely fantastic.
Right.
Okay? So, what do we know? What cost you was your misses,
Yes.
as they do. We can't miss. We can never go fast enough to miss. So, a little bit more time, down to maybe 4.5, 5 seconds, perhaps we don't get those. Okay, but
Right.
at any rate, not too awful bad. With the penalties at 17, we'll take that. Did you find it weird coming up from the low ready?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Definitely. And also, the smaller target, the head it was a little bit more intimidating. I don't know why. I just felt it.
Yeah, it's pressure.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we want, believe it or not.
Okay.
If you practice and you're not pressured, we've probably wasted some time.
Got
Okay?
it.
Because it's going to teach us to deal with things down the road in the event we have to. Let's go shoot one more drill and see how that goes.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
So, Kayla, last drill, okay? Called the Wizard. One of the reasons I like this drill is the first string of fire is you're actually going to use your strong hand only. In your case, the right hand.
Okay.
So that's a little weird for new shooters, okay?
Yes.
But it's something you need to learn to do not only with your dominant hand, but with your left hand, opposite hand. So, a couple of hacks for you before we begin. You can get away with a lot of junk potentially if you're only going to shoot the gun one time. In this drill, we're only going to shoot the gun one time. But just so we don't start forming a lot of bad habits, we don't want to do weird things like this.
Okay.
Okay? We actually, to control the gun, want most of your weight on your front foot, say 60-40 or 70-30. And we want you leaned out farther than you typically would so we have some weight behind the gun to control it because we're only using one hand.
Right.
One of the other things that seems to help people find the sights quickly is if when they start, they have a little bit of a bladed kind of stance like I am now. Instead of square, they kind of turn a little bit like so.
Okay.
And it puts your gun in more of your direct line of sight. This
makes sense.
people find weird.
Yeah.
Okay? Sort of makes it more in line. One of the things I've learned over time being wrong-handed is if I put my toes to the edge of the target, to the left for me would be for the right to you. When my hand comes up, it's just right there. If I get to the middle, say now, when my hand comes up, I particularly am always off to the right.
Okay.
So when you line up on the target, if you look at your feet, perhaps it would be, you see how that works?
Yeah, so I would need to come over here.
Yeah, no, actually, you want to be to the right. Back up a little more.
Back up.
Good. Now, see?
Okay.
When your hand comes up, you're more in line, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so if you're over here or in the middle, you're out to the left.
Got it.
Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, going to be weird, but that's okay.
Uh-huh.
Try to line up the sights. Now, the Wizard drill, you shoot only 5 rounds. It's a good warm-up drill. and it covers a lot of the things you need to do with the handgun in just 5 rounds. So it's economical.
Okay.
First string of fire, it's at 3 yards. All you're gonna do on the beep is bring the gun up from the low ready with one hand, shoot the target in the head zone, okay? Makes sense?
Yep.
Now, out of the holster from concealment, you get 2.5 seconds per string. You don't have a holster or concealment, so we'll be nice and give you 2 seconds.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So, if you're over 2 seconds, it would be an automatic failure, but we'll just record the time.
Okay.
Keep in mind, you're trying to beat 2 seconds.
Got it.
You're trying to beat 2 seconds at every string of fire.
Okay.
So the drill does get progressively harder.
Got it.
Make sense?
Yes.
But we'll focus on that nonsense later on, one thing at a time, okay?
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, we're going to load the gun, finger off, sort of experiment with your feet and that bladed stance with your weight leaning into the gun.
Okay.
If you'd like to try it dry, you can with an empty gun
Yeah.
to see how that goes. Perfect. Good idea. Okay, good.
Okay.
Yep. Low ready, please. Good. Okay? Then on the beep, you'll just pop up, find the sights, press the shot. Easy.
Okay. Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
One of the other hacks you're going to find is you have to have more follow through with one hand. People have a tendency to do this.
Yeah.
They're timing it, and their hands and wrists are breaking and the gun hasn't went off yet.
Okay.
So let it surprise you.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Let's see what happens. And just remember, Kayla, if you miss it 3 yards, it'll be recorded forever in internet history, so no pressure.
Well, thank you, I guess.
Okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Shooter ready?
Ready.
On the beep. Good. Gun down for me. Excellent. Well, even one-handed, we have a left trend,
Yeah.
but I would count that.
Okay.
That's a decent hit. First time. 1.77. So you made it.
Great.
Okay? I'm going to go switch targets a little bit,
Okay.
and then we'll work at the 5-yard line.
Sounds good.
Okay. So string of fire number 2. We'll begin from the low ready.
Okay.
On the beep, all you're going to do, come up from the low ready, put one round into the head zone again.
Got it. Okay.
Easy. 2 seconds. Okay?
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, find your two-handed grip, find your stance. Good. Now, I'm going to reveal a trade secret to you, Kayla, okay? This works for me whether I'm using a dot or iron sights.
Okay.
Go ahead and present the gun at the low ready. If from here, I say to myself, a little bit harder with the grip, a little bit firmer, when I come up, I'm quicker on the target than if I'm a relaxed grip.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Vice grip,
Okay.
like somebody's trying to take it from us. When the drill begins, when you pop up, it will just magically appear. I don't know why.
Okay.
Okay?
And it's just one round?
Yep,
in the
one
head?
round to the head.
Okay.
Good. Okay, shooter ready?
Ready?
On the beep. Good. Okay? So we got to slow down a little bit because that was in 1.33.
Okay.
That would have counted,
Yeah.
but as we move out, that's going to be out of the impact zone. Okay?
Got it. Okay.
So just slow down just a little bit
Okay.
and then try to bring her back more towards the center.
I think the timer just makes me a little bit nervous.
I hope so.
Right.
That's why we're using it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
There would be a lot of people out there, and I totally would understand their point of view, that you shouldn't be using shot timers right now. Got it. I understand. But I think that you can, if you're going to carry and you're going to carry soon, then we have to get used to some things.
That makes sense.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to move back to 7, and we're going to do the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. So, Kayla, all we've done is move same target back to the 7-yard line. You're going to do the very same thing.
Okay.
Okay? On the beep, you'll come up from the low ready, put one in the head zone.
Got it.
Hopefully in less than 2 seconds.
Right.
Okay? So go ahead and grab the gun, full firm grip. Okay, now remember, you had plenty of time last time, okay?
Right.
But we are farther away.
Okay.
So good full firm grip. Think to yourself 20% harder. Okay?
Got it.
Shooter ready.
Ready?
On the beep. Excellent job, Kayla. 1.45. Very good.
Okay. I
Okay.
felt like I presented, it just felt
Yep.
fluid, just smooth.
Now keep in mind, when we're done and send you out into the world as an armed citizen, which is our goal, we have a more than 1 full second to clear garment, grab gun, and get on target. So from the low ready, these times are acceptable,
Right.
right? You see? When you're really, really good, and when you start, 1 second isn't near enough time to get the gun out from concealment and get on target.
That makes sense.
So we got to whittle some things down, but we're really close out the gate, which is good.
Okay.
Okay? So we're going to move to 10 yards and do a little bit different, so hang tight for me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so your last string of fire, very simple. Major difference is we've moved back to the 10-yard line to the far-ish distance. This time, we're going to put 2 rounds downrange in the torso.
Torso. Okay.
Okay? Bad news is you got the same amount of time to get it done. 2 seconds.
Got it.
So we got to come up, we got to find the sights, be efficient with the trigger, and your grip now comes into play.
Right.
Because if we have a sloppy grip, the gun, when it's an impulse, is going to be all off the target.
Okay.
Okay?
So in the torso, the region that I need to stay within is out.
Well,
9
I'll give
or...
you the whole 9.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
Okay, I wouldn't want to be shot in that range.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Shooter ready?
Ready.
On the beat. On the beat. Here we go. Excellent. So, overall time was 2:45. Okay?
Okay.
First shot happened in 1.46, which is very consistent for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, we can take your hearing off.
Okay.
146, 245. This 146 was up from the low ready, okay? So it took us roughly a second to fire the gun, catch it in impulse, and get it back on the target.
Right.
That's pretty good. Now, what that tells you is you're applying the idea that you want to re-aim the gun or reacquire another sight picture quickly. Okay? Has anybody ever told you that before? So if we know that we're going to shoot the gun 1, 2, 3, or 4 times,
Right.
we always want to acquire one more sight picture than we think we're going to use.
Okay.
What that'll teach you to do, and that's why I didn't tell you before we started, is we're going to re-aim the gun quickly, but shoot slow enough with the trigger to still stay on target, which you did a nice job of, I can tell from here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could tell I took my time a little bit just so I can make sure that my firearm was level.
Sure. And it's hard, right?
I was more worried about staying within that torso area.
Yeah, it's very difficult when you're new to kind of complete this sort of thing. But what I'm hoping to do is give you an idea of where you have to be skill set wise.
Okay.
Okay? For you, you're not too far off. With some practice, dry fire practice and some range time, you're going to be right there. But now we have to start talking about concealment and that whole sort of mean-spirited concept.
Right.
Because it slows everything down. Now, first step towards everyday carry is we got the gun, now we need a holster.
Yes.
Okay? Now, a word on holsters. You're never going to find one that works in all cases. You're never going to find one position that works in all cases. You're just not. So your homework is to find some holster systems, whether they're hip-oriented, appendix-oriented, something like that. I'm not a fan of off-body carry for right now. We'll talk about why later.
Okay.
When you do your homework for holsters, a couple of things you're going to have to pay very, very close attention to. One is when you see, and I've laid a couple of them out here, and maybe Matt can get a close-up of it. These holsters look pretty close, would you say? These are my 2 rivals. One's the everyday carry gun, one's the training gun I shoot all the time. One of these is great for everyday carry and speed of accessing the holster because you can see the entire undercut of the trigger guard.
Right.
You can get your whole hand on it immediately. The other one, you'll notice, not so good.
Okay.
And believe it or not, something that subtle is hugely important.
But you wouldn't know it until you actually have the holster.
You got it. So by reading the reviews
Mm-hmm.
and going to companies like We the People, Alien Gear, and you'll know the top ones as soon as you start researching it. We did some reviews on Concealment Express. I've gotten holsters from them I liked. Some of them in the past little bit I did not.
Okay.
So do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very important that you read reviews and you select a company based on what you can find in reviews and the way that it looks, whether you can get your hand on the gun or not.
Okay.
Okay? Rule of thumb is if you don't see a lot of your handle sticking out, it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be very, very effective.
Right.
Okay? Now, main thing we got to focus on besides the holster being the quality that we can use is where are we going to carry the gun? So, I'm going to tell you, most people that don't carry guns because they've never found a comfortable way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They would like to, but it jabs them all over, and it's over. They're done because they're not comfortable.
Right.
So what you have to do is analyze what you do most during the day. If you drive,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably not going to want to be an appendix carry person.
Right.
Okay? One of the other downside to appendix carry is you can't carry the gun in the appendix all the time. Is your dress clothes change? You can't just have loose garments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, pay a little bit of attention to that and try to get the one that works most for you based on what your daily work and potentially recreation time is like.
Okay.
Okay? Now, once we figure out how we're going to carry the gun, we're going to have to get a quality belt for the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy a dress belt. This is a really, really complicated issue for the ladies because of style. Websites like She Equips Herself, Armed and Elegant, there's more information out there than there's ever been on how ladies can carry guns and stay stylish. And that's the equipment you want because it's got potentially steel thread reinforcements in the belt. It's not flimsy.
Okay.
Girls' clothes are typically not sturdy enough to do what we want to do.
I could see me having just as many belts as I do
You will,
holsters.
and you'll have holsters.
Okay.
We've covered this on the channel before. You'll have boxes of holsters. The whole system will come and go.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to be serious trainers. So you cannot buy or skimp on any equipment where the belt rips.
Right.
The holster's compromised because we're talking about hundreds of presentations a week. Yes, we are. And your equipment is going to wear out. Okay, so we want to buy it once, and we want to try to find something that works. One of the things, I'm allowed to open carry at work. I hate that term, but that's what they do. And I just have it on my hip because I'm comfortable with it. It works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Most ladies, that will not be the case. They want nothing to do with that.
I've actually put some thought into this.
Oh, perfect.
So, I mean, I understand the whole
Mm-hmm.
OWI, IWI,
Yep.
that inside and outside the waistband, appendix carry.
Perfect.
Because I have children, I want to make sure it's as hidden as possible. And I felt like appendix carry would be the way to go for me. But again, I would have to try it.
You will.
Because I do sit down a good majority of the time at work too.
See, it's awesome that you've done the homework on inside and outside because we were heading there.
Okay.
You've already got it figured out. Yeah. Perfect. Here's the other thing, not just for your kids. You don't want people to be terribly aware that you're armed, even if you don't have your kids. Concealment is good.
Yeah.
Appendix carry gives you that. It also gives you the quickest access to the gun.
Okay.
It's, in most people's opinion, it's the fastest. It obviously depends on the shooter, but it's important.
Right.
Now, downside to appendix carry is you have to learn how to reholster the gun. It can be very dangerous if you're sloppy reholstering the gun because of the orientation of the muzzle, and you really can't see. You don't have much of a tactical shelf, so it's going to be easier, but you cannot be careful enough when you reholster the gun.
Mm-hmm. You
don't want to do anything cowboy-like no-look reholsters.
Okay.
Because that can lead you to a very, very serious problem.
What's a tactical shelf?
A beer belly.
Okay.
Imagine, you know what I mean? And they can make it work, but what happens is they have to lean way back and look down to be able to reholster the gun.
Got it. I feel like that's something I would still want to do is lean back and
it's something that you must do.
Okay.
Not want to.
Got it.
Will do. Mm-hmm. You have to carefully and reluctantly and as carefully as you possibly can reholster the gun on appendix carry. Because people have been hurt seriously or worse not doing that.
Okay.
Even experienced people. Okay?
Yep.
You should have all the time in the world to put the gun away. If you're in danger, why are you putting the gun away?
Right.
Make sense? So we should have all the time we need to reholster the gun.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Cool. So you do your homework, and the next time we meet up, we'll see what you came up with.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe.